Hi Scorpio, this is Tisch Aitken, and this is your monthly report for the month of December. Such a busy time, and it's the final month of the year, and we're in eclipse season, which is crazy in itself. Eclipses bring a lot of change. It's a heightened time of activity. It can raise people's anxiety. Eclipses can eclipse people and situations out of our lives or into our lives. They can bring fated encounters or opportunities, and they can bring us information that we had no idea about in a whim, just out of the blue. Or maybe it's something that's been building up for a while and it finally boils over. We have to deal with it. And it's a time, it's a very intense pressure time. And there was a lunar eclipse in Scorpio season on November 19th at 20 degrees and 14 minutes of the fixed earth sign of Taurus, which is your opposite sign, and it occurred in your house of partnerships and relationships. And that's where you would be experiencing a lot of transformation, whether it's bringing somebody new into your life or renewal in your relationships, or it's eclipsing somebody or people out of your life and bringing awakening in that area. Maybe you've been stagnant and you need to partner again, but a lot of focus on relationships for you with that lunar eclipse. And I did see a lot of loss with my clients and friends with that particular eclipse, because it was the biggest partial lunar eclipse in 1,000 years and the longest stretch since February 18th of 1440, when the partial lunar eclipse is a little longer than that, but it was 3 hours and 22 minutes, and that is intense. We're all reeling from that eclipse as we begin December and building up to a second eclipse, because they always come in pairs. So on the 1st of December, we have the Sun and Mercury transiting in the mutable fire sign of Sagittarius in your house of money and income and what you value, hopefully bringing in new opportunities for income. And Neptune, which is the higher octave of Venus, stations direct on December 1st at 8:22 a.m. Eastern Standard Time in your house of romance, creativity, children, and self-expression. You feel the buildup of that station 5 days before and 5 days after, and it exaggerates all of the qualities of Neptune, good and bad. The directionlessness, the fear, the fog, the haze, but also the imagination, the dreams, the intuition, the compassion. It's very emotional energy, and with eclipses, it's just really, a lot of people have said they've just felt really hard. It's been very hard to get out of bed, or just feeling just really spaced out, or feeling very emotional, and I think all of that makes sense. And once we get past this is another outer planet direct, and that's a good thing, getting us moving ahead. On December 3rd, there is a total solar eclipse that takes place at 11:43 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and on December 4th at 2:43 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. This total solar eclipse is like a new moon on steroids, and it occurs in your house of income and money and what you value. And this is always a time, a new moon is always a time for setting intentions and planting new seeds and doing the law of abundance. And for you, it's bringing new financial opportunities and hopefully new creative opportunities, how you can be creative in how you earn your income. And maybe you're reevaluating what is of meaning to you. But this is a good eclipse for bringing in new money, so hopefully that's really how you should focus on that. And then on December 6th, Mars, which is the planet of action, forms a helpful sextile to Pluto. Now Mars has been transiting in your sign since October 30th, and it rules your sign in ancient astrology. And Pluto is the modern ruler of your sign. So this is a really effective energy for getting things done, good communication, maybe networking with others or your local community. And then on December 7th, Mercury forms a square to Neptune at 10:16 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that could bring confusion. Perhaps there are financial issues or maybe issues with romantic situations. Could be just misinterpretation or miscommunication. Good for doing manifesting work. And then later that day, Mars squares Jupiter at 10:21 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and on December 8th at 1:21 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that's just an excessive energy. That's not bad. It's just a lot being very busy, and maybe you're in your home or just a lot going on with family. And then on December, on December 11th, there is more of an intensity because Venus will retrograde this month. That's another big part of the story of December. Venus entered the cardinal earth sign of Capricorn on November 5th, and it will be there until March 6th of 2022. And it's transiting in your house of communication and information, local community, marketing, sales, teaching, and learning. And Venus retrogrades on December 19th at 26 degrees and 29 minutes of the cardinal earth sign of Capricorn. And it stations direct on January 29th at 11 degrees of Capricorn. So it's triggering where Saturn was when it was in Capricorn, starting around December of 2018 when it was at 11 degrees of Capricorn. And then Saturn got to 26 degrees of Capricorn on March 4th of 2020. And then it cleared that degree on November 4th of 2020. So giving you a chance to reevaluate things that you were doing when Saturn was in Capricorn. It's a very goal-oriented sign. And so how you can be more effective in your communication, in your studies, in your teaching, and in your thinking. Hopefully, I mean, it's such a tough time reevaluating how you can be positive in your approach to life, in rebuilding. So that's a big focus for you. And Venus is going to meet up with Pluto on December 11th for the first of 3 pairings, and that's very intense. It's very stormy. It can bring breakups and power struggles. It could also bring transformation with relationships and with money if you really deal with it in a way that it may be painful or may be difficult, but that you don't shy away from the darkness. And you are Scorpio, and Pluto rules your sign, so you might have a little bit of a leg up on others on that. So that occurs, yes, again, at 11:29 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Mercury does form a helpful sextile to Jupiter, the luckiest planet, at 2:24 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that could be helpful for bringing some levity to the communication, but realistically, it's going to be a heavy day because the Sun squares Neptune at 10:21 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and on December 12th at 1:21 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I feel that that could also dissolve relationships and could uncover deception, which, you know, with this eclipse season, with the Neptune station at the beginning of the month, that's a reality. Venus and Pluto are going to meet up again on the 25th of December and a final time on March 2nd. And Venus will exit Capricorn altogether on March 6th. So a lot of heaviness, you know, and we'll meet up again on March 2nd too. Yeah. So that's going on. And then on December 13th, there's more of an optimistic energy. Mars, which is the planet of action and one of the rulers of your sign, leaves Scorpio and enters the mutable fire sign of Sagittarius, where it will remain until January 25th in your house of earnings and income and what you value. Again, more focus on your money and your finances and going for it, really, you know, taking steps to make money and finding things of value in your life. And later that day, Mercury, which is the planet of communication, enters the cardinal earth sign of Capricorn at 12:52 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where it will remain until January 2nd. It's going to retrograde in the middle of January in Aquarius, and then by the end of January, it's going to re-enter the late degrees of Capricorn, and then it will re-enter Aquarius on February 14th. So a lot of assessment on your thinking, on your learning, and on your networking and getting involved in your local community. And I think that's a big theme both with Venus and Mercury. And on December 18th, there is a full moon that day. Mercury, which is the planet of communication, forms a challenging square to Chiron, the wounded healer, and that could bring up issues. And then there's a full moon at 11:36 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at 27 degrees and 29 minutes of the mutable air sign of Gemini. And this full moon falls in your house of joint resources and money and investments and debt and transformation. Also can bring loss, and it's the Scorpio house astrology because you are the 8th sign and it is falling in your 8th house. And so in this case, there could be, I mean, realistically, we've all experienced loss of something, or many people, ways of life. We have all collectively dealt with so much loss. So whether it's, dealing with what, with healing work that you need to deal with, it also officially ends eclipse season, although with these eclipses, how powerful they were, I think we're still all working with them for quite a while longer. And I also hope with the full moon, it enables you to find a way to empower yourself to heal. But it will be emotional because on the following day, Venus retrogrades at 5:36 a.m. Eastern Standard Time at 26 degrees and 29 minutes of Capricorn. And then Chiron, which is the wounded healer, stations direct at 8 degrees and 26 minutes of the cardinal fire sign of Aries in your house of work and habits and daily routine. And it's going to set off where Jupiter's going to be later next year, because Jupiter's going to transit in Pisces from December 28th until March 10th. And then it's going to take a journey in Aries until October 28th and re-enter Pisces for a little while. But it's transiting in both signs. And so Chiron stationing direct is positive, but it will, I think, emphasize the wounds on the day of the retrograde. And part of this, again, is reconciling all that's happened in the last few years. And the pandemic broke out when Saturn was in Capricorn, and Venus is retrograding in that sign, but how we can heal and take measures to work going ahead to heal collectively and with people we love, and to heal ourselves. And let's see, and on that day the sun sextiles Jupiter, so there is some optimism, but it's definitely not an easy day. And on December 20th, Mercury forms a trine to Uranus at 3:18 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and that is very innovative energy. And for you, that could bring new partnering opportunities, or just good, very inventive and innovative thinking. On December 21st, it's the winter solstice, and the sun enters the cardinal earth sign of Capricorn, where it will be until January 2nd in your house of communication and learning and thinking and networking. And it leaves Capricorn on January 2nd, but it's going to retrograde in the middle of January in Aquarius, and then it's going to re-enter the late degrees of Capricorn at the end of January. It's going to exit Capricorn altogether on February 14th, but a lot of emphasis on communication and also on home and family, with Mercury transiting both in Aquarius and Capricorn in the retrograde. So that's something also to look forward to as we begin 2022, that Mercury will be retrograding soon after, and then coming back to Capricorn, where Venus will be for quite a while. And on December 24th, Saturn squares Uranus at 2:17 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is the third and final time. Saturn and Uranus are both the rulers of the sign of Aquarius. We are in the new age of Aquarius, this futuristic time and this very unpredictable time. Saturn is transiting in Aquarius and Uranus is transiting in Taurus, and they're squaring each other at 11 degrees and 5 minutes of the fixed signs. And anybody with planets between 9 and 13 degrees of the fixed signs will feel this the most. And they are Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. And there's a chaotic energy with that, and again, a learning curve for all of us as we adjust to this whole new world, and likely some chaos at the end of December. On December 25th, Mars forms a helpful trine to Chiron, the wounded healer, and that could bring healing energy. But Venus and Pluto meet up a second time in the sky at 7:02 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and that is very stormy energy. And again, many might be celebrating holidays that time, and just knowing that there could be power struggles, there could be breakups, but also we've all experienced so much loss, and knowing that many people we love won't be with us this year during these holidays, and that's very, very hard and just incredibly sad, you know, and so honoring those that aren't with us. On the 26th of December, Mercury forms helpful sextile to Neptune at 4:29 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and that's good for doing manifesting work and working with the dream. On December 28th, Jupiter, which is the grand benefic, enters the mutable water sign of Pisces at 11:09 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's transiting in your house of romance and creativity and love affairs. It's going to be there until May 10th. That'll be in your house of work and habits until October 28th. Re-enters your house of love affairs and creativity and romance until December 20th. And then it returns to transiting in Aries. But this is really fun with Jupiter and Pisces because it rules Pisces in ancient astrology. It's a fellow water sign. It's in your house of love and children and inner child and self-expression. It's really good for your creativity and finding joy again in a broken world. So that's something to tap into the imagination and the hope. And on December 29th, Mercury and Venus are going to meet up at 5:27 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and that can be 4:50 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and that can bring heavy news, that can bring arguments or disagreements, power struggles, but it also is great for doing research and getting to the bottom of things. On January 30th, the moon, December 30th, the moon enters the mutable fire sign of Sagittarius at 6:08 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it will be there until January 1st when it goes void with a square to Neptune at 3:16 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I think that that symbolizes the directionlessness and the fear we all feel in this time, because Neptune can feel very hopeless or just, You don't know how to get yourself out of a ditch, but yet it's also infinite imagination and dreams and tapping into the dream, suspension of disbelief. You can get through this. And on the 1st of January, the sun trines Uranus at 4:50 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that shows the inventiveness within all of us to recreate and to rebuild. And I wish you a lot of luck and Happy New Year, Scorpio.